Hey, what's up guys? This is Team Hardlight Captain Alberto Zertuche here, and I've got the prototype of the Concept 13. And what is this? Alright, so it says prototype 4.0. It's not giving us an exact size on it, so I'm gonna go and get it spooled up with 30-pound hollow core. Got the Tightline, and that's the one we'll be doing it with.
Gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta line. I'ma call up the whole team.
Be very interesting for the spooling video. And if y'all are new to the channel, guys, this is basically the same deal as an anaconda knot. We have done it to where, or we created the knot so that way when you tie braid to a spool, you don't need any tape or monofilament to keep the braid from slipping on the spool. But you have to wrap the spool 8 to 10 times. And we've had a few guys say, hey man, that's like the San Diego jam knot. No, it's not. San Diego jam knot does a different type of knot, and they only go around the spool twice. We have seen where that braid will slip on the spool, and we've seen it multiple we've seen it a lot, guys, needless to say. And that's where you'll see those reels have that snake-like effect after a while of fishing with it. It doesn't happen at first, but it does, because the spool arbors are so smooth, there's nothing to grip onto the spool by the braid. So do not use that knot, guys. I'm sorry. Seen a whole bunch of other YouTubers putting out there where you only have to go once or twice around the spool arbor to create a knot to the spool with braid. Guys, I'm sorry, those guys are wrong. And like I said, it'll happen after a while of using the fishing, and you've seen, or fishing the reel, should I say. And you'll see in our channel where we've had guys that have a fully spooled reel, and we actually pull line on it with the drag locked over, and the braid will still slip on the spool even though it's completely filled up with line. Don't be fooled, but just because, oh, it's full of line, it's not going to slip. Yes, it will slip, guys. We've got multiple videos proving that. So just a heads up. So like I said, I've gone around the spool arbor 8 to 10 times, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hollow core splice the braid back onto itself, and I'm going to go around the main line over here with the tag line. But this 30-pound it's a little finicky. You gotta finesse it just a little more. It's still strong line. And if you don't have the needle, I have other videos in my channel that I'll put down in the description, so you can check out the link there, and you can see those videos. I've shown where we've tied bimini knots like this to create this loop, and other types of knots as well. So you don't have to have a splicing needle to make this happen, guys, and it'll work for both solid and hollow core lines. One of the main reasons too you don't want to use tape on the inside of your spools, because it allows moisture to gather up there, which will in turn start eating your spool arbor, especially if you have a metal spool. Graphite spools really don't matter on it, so you don't have to worry about it there. But as you can tell here, as I'm spinning it, the knot is starting to shrink, so, or the loop is. See how it is? And it has tightened back up. I designed it like this because one of the biggest things that I was told by a very knowledgeable person, Scott over at Avets Reels, was saying that when metals heat up, they expand, and that happens with reels too, which is very true. Now, with that being said though, it you got to take in consideration when you're fighting a fish, the spool's going to heat up, expand out, and then once it cools, it's going to contract. leaving gap, and that's where a lot of that slippage of the braid happens on the spool. Granted, this is graphite. Oh no, this looks like graphite, but you see right there, it looks metal. I don't know, maybe it's just the paint job they have on it, but I'm gonna go in and close it out or fill it up with braid, and we'll see how it goes. But he's got 2 of these rails, so we're gonna go and knock them both out real quick. That's 100 yards of 30 pound on this reel right here. So again, like I said, it doesn't give us a size, just a 4.0. So all right, that's 202 yards right there. And I think I'm gonna go and leave it there just because I don't want to over spool it, and I know I've got it pretty tightly spun on there. What I mean is that it's not gapped out a lot between the strands. They're pretty tight there. I don't know how many wraps around the spool as the bell will go up and down and stuff like that to pull the line back on there. So if it expands a little bit, I want him to have a bit of wiggle room right there. And there we go. So 200 yards on this one. And then we're going to do a second one and go on to the next reel. Alright, here we go. Got the anaconda knot tied up, and you'll see as I start to spool it, it actually give me the closure that I'm looking for. Nice and tight. There we go. Here we go. Another 200 yards. That way y'all can check it out too. There's the line counter, 200 yards. On this Concept 13 Prototype 4.0. Yes sir. Very nice. And there you go. All 3 reels with 200 yards of 30 pound Tightline 40-pound hollow core braid on the Concept 13 prototype 4.0s. Very nice.